Hi, everyone. Welcome to Planted Seed. My name is Jessica, and I'm the founder of Planted Seed. Back to What's Your Story Wednesdays. We have an all new episode, and I'm so excited to interview Yaslyn. And hi, Yaslyn. Tell us about yourself.
Hi, how are you? First and foremost, thank you for having me on. It's a pleasure to be here. Um, so a little bit about me. Where do I begin? Do I begin from my school? I'll just begin from where it started. So I was born and raised in Paterson, New Jersey.
P-Town.
I
Another P-Town. I love this.
Hey, so what was it? So I'm an only child. So being an only child came a lot of educational pressures. I was very fortunate to have had parents that put me through private school growing up. I then went on to a public high school. I graduated from Rider University with my bachelor's in communication studies and a minor in global studies. And I then went on to pursue my master's of public health and health policy and management at Temple University in Philadelphia. So my journey has been a bit of communication mixed with public health.
Right.
I am currently working for a nonprofit organization, and what I do here is work with the community. Where I see myself long term is owning my own nonprofit organization catered to at risk youth, specifically transitional age youth, so between the ages of 17 and 24. I feel as though that gap does not get the attention that they deserve. And I want to focus and cater it towards, for right at the beginning, cater it towards young ladies.
Yes.
And then, of course, move on to young men.
But
yes, open it, of course, open it. But a lot of young ladies, and I can just think about my experience going into college, first generation Dominican American, going into college.
Yeah, okay, girl.
Going into college. Listen, it was tough. It was tough because I had to complete all my application. I didn't have any help with writing my essays.
Right.
And I remember being my freshman year in college, and I was a bit lost. I was a bit lost. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't know what my purpose was in life. And I remember joining a sorority, which, quote unquote, it's cliche, sort of saved me. And there I met a group of young ladies with the same ambitions, same goals, same morals and values. And I was able to meet one of, I used to call her my second mom. One of my moms that I still to this day connect with, and we still hang out and we still talk about life. But she was the one that pushed me to where I am now. And I remember that I didn't have that guidance going into college because, we didn't have that guidance. My parents, my dad knows English. He went to up until high school here, but then decided not to pursue and started working. And my mother came from the Dominican Republic. She has her journalism degree, but it doesn't know English. So I, didn't have that help. So when I was in college, I remember it came back full circle, applying to graduate school and having this older sister. She's a director and still is a director at the university. And she was a mentor for our chapter. And she guided me into the public health program, and was my second mom, like, sort of say. So after all those experiences, I realized that I want to cater to those young ladies that either, if they want to go to school, okay. If you do not want to go to school, there's trade school. If you don't want to go to trade school, then entrepreneur spirit. Let's feed your entrepreneur spirit. It's whatever you make of it, because growing up Latina, you say they instill in you have to go to school, and in reality, now looking back with all the schooling that I have, and I do love to learn. I love school, and I'm even thinking of something else down the line, but I'm like, but I genuinely appreciate it and love studying and learning new things. But they from a young age were instilled that we have to go to school. Some individuals are not built for that, and that's okay. You shouldn't be ashamed of not wanting to go to school. But what I am, going to focus on those young ladies in the future is that, okay, you don't want to go to school, but there's a bigger purpose in life. You're here in this world to serve a bigger purpose, and I'm here to guide you and help you find what that bigger purpose is.
Oh, I love that. I love that. So let's rewind a little bit, because you said that you transitioned from a private school to a public school. So
Mhm.
how was those 4 years of high school?
So I was in private. So let me just rephrase that. I was in private school from elementary to middle school,
Okay.
and then I transitioned into a public high school.
Mhm.
And it wasn't that big of a transition. I went to tech, PCTI, and at the time, my freshman year, they still didn't have uniforms, but my second year, sophomore year, they instilled uniforms. So it was very still militant, very not militant, but they were very strict, and they cared
Structured.
about your. Yeah, very structured. That was the word. Yeah, they were very structured, still cared about students, and showed us individual attention. Although I was in a medical arts shop, I was able to adjust. It was a bit of an adjustment because I came from a private school where there was a lot of Latinos and African American students. That's all I saw. That's all I saw in my neighborhood. And when I went to tech, and I'm like, oh my gosh, they're so diverse. And that diversity is what I thrive off now. Now wherever I go, I need to see people from different cultural backgrounds.
Right.
It needs to be diverse, because in order for me to thrive as a human being, I need everyone's input that comes from different cultural backgrounds, because it doesn't make sense just having one input from one
Right.
specific background. So now I look back, and I look back at my middle school, elementary, and even high school, and I'm like, it equipped me and it built me into the person that I am now. I thrive off of that, and I get along really well because I accept, and I'm willing to learn different cultural barriers.
Right.
That makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So did you have any insecurities or fears when you were a teenager, like especially now you went to this diverse high school?
Um, I did have some insecurities, and one of the biggest insecurity was body image.
Mm,
It's not that it was instilled in me, but let's say a perfect Latina woman is very voluptuous,
yeah.
has the curves, and I was a very skinny person. Still, I'm still, very, very slim.
Right.
So I remember that I would go to the Dominican Republic when I would visit family, and I'm like, oh wow, like I wish I had, a rounder butt, I wish I had, the curves. But I learned later on that those insecurities were just societal expectations, societal views, and
You got it.
social
Yes.
media's input in that. And I'm like, oh.
Yep.
So now looking back, I can say that through that experience and having that insecurity that I felt like I was worthless. I never showed it though. I never showed it, and not everyone, but I knew a couple of people in high school, and you would never think that I was insecure because I put up a great facade.
Love it. I love it. Well, I mean, it got you through to go into college. Like,
Mhm.
it gave you that, even though it was maybe some false confidence, but it still got you through where you needed to go. I know you mentioned you had a mentor, a role model in college, but did you have one in high school? Did you have any role model or mentor, or doesn't matter if they were famous, or anyone that you looked up to that gave you that inspiration and gave you that, that drive to go to college and so on and so forth?
I think that it's a combination of various different people in my life.
Mm,
So I had my mom, and my mother's side of the family, they're very big on education, right? So I have my aunts and uncles who are physicians abroad, and I have this one aunt who I would go to the Dominican Republic and spend, weeks on end, at her house with my other cousins. And I remember she would be like sort of my mentor, just pushing me like, oh, so what do you want to do? What is it that you like to do with your life? I had my aunt, my mom, even the friend group that I had. I have my best friend, one of my best friends that I've known since elementary school. And I think always surrounding myself that I didn't know at the time, powerful young woman. So surrounding myself with powerful young women, all because of the influences of my aunts, my mom, my older cousins, my older female cousins, I would just see them going, just going to the mall, grabbing drinks or going out to restaurants with their friends. And I'm like, I want to be like that when I get older. I want to go out. I want to, I want to do that. But I knew that with going out, that came with having sacrifices and sacrificing yourself to pursue either an education or pursue a career, whatever it is that you wanted to do. So mentor wise, I believe that my mentors were my mom, my aunts, my older cousins, even like the friend group that I had. We have different, yes, very like so much similarities, and we've all, if we're not out in the community, one of them is studying, is going into law school. The other one is going into higher education. The other one's a teacher. So it's like a lot of like powerful, at the time we didn't know, powerful young ladies.
Right. So with everything that you knew or everything that you know now, what would you tell your younger self?
That everything takes time.
Oof.
I remember, oh my gosh.
You can't tell teens that. They need instant gratification.
No. It's where you're allowed to make mistakes. Who said that you're not? You're not allowed to make mistakes. Mistakes is, we in society think that mistakes are the worst things ever. When you fail, oh my gosh, no, you don't want to fail. Yes, you do want to fail. You do want to fail, so you learn from that and you don't repeat that.
Right. Yes.
So it's like, just learning that it's okay to make mistakes, to fail, but also learning to have patience, and things come when they need to come.
Right. Oh my God. So, all right. Tell me a fun fact, because I love fun facts and I love when I get to know people and I love fun facts. So tell me a fun fact about you.
Okay, so a fun fact would be that I started my own catering company 2 years ago.
Oh, this goes right into the next one. Oh, plug it.
So my catering company is called Lula's Empanadas. So we specialize in authentic Dominican empanadas with a twist of contemporary flavors. And
I need to know. What's your best seller?
Oh my gosh. Okay. So I have 3. So I have the buffalo chicken.
Okay.
And I'll have a Cajun shrimp mac and cheese one. And then I'll do 2 more, a Thai sweet chili chicken one and a veggie teriyaki. So those are like the 4 top sellers.
Yeah. So what made you get into doing the catering?
So what made me, I think that I remember when I told you that I thought that I was lost in college. So in college, when I was with my sorority, I remember that we would have fundraisers and everyone would look at me like, well, you know how to cook. So they were like, well, these people love empanadas. Right. So I would cook up empanadas, bang out like, 100, 150, like they would help me fry them, stuff them. And we would go dorm dashing throughout the dorms from like 9 to 1 in the morning, like 9 p.m. to like 1 in the morning, just like going through buildings, just raising funds for our chapter. And I remember that I was in Philly, fast forward, I was in Philly pursuing my master's. I'm like, what is it that you really want to do, Yaslyn? Because you do have a love for communication, you do have a love for public health, but there's something missing. And I remember going into a depression to the point where I was contemplating, suicidal thoughts, just like I was alone. I was alone in my apartment. I didn't know what to do. I was alone in a new city. Mind you, I had, my best friend 20 minutes away from me, but I still felt alone. And I didn't have a car. I gave up my car because I wanted to be, just live in the city and embrace it. And I remember that one of my internships, that's where I met my business consultant. And I would always bring food in. He was like, Yaslyn, what is it that you want to do? I'm like, I don't know. He eventually got it out of me. He was like, you like to cook. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I really do love to cook. I've been seeing my mother cook. My mother has been cooking since the age of 5. She's one out of 11.
Wow.
So I've been seeing my mom cook, and all along, and I see these pictures now. I go back and I have all these like nice pictures that my dad would take of us in the kitchen. And I would always be in the kitchen, either on top of the table near my mom while she was cooking, or just tasting the food. And I realized, I'm like, that's my passion. My passion is cooking. But and it's okay to have more than one passion, because my passion is also communication and public health. So through Lula's, our goal is to create a foundation, the Lula's Foundation, to cater to young ladies.
Love it.
Yeah, so it's moving along, and hopefully, with the universe and everything aligns, in December or January, one of those 2 months, but in less than 2 months, we'll be launching a crowdfunding campaign to raise funds for our potential trailer or food truck.
Oh my God, I love this. I love it. Oh, you definitely have to let Planted Seed know. We would love, love, love to be a part of this. Oh my goodness, thank you. Oh, and congratulations. This is like, whoa, like,
thank you.
It's like one of those things like, man, I figured it out. Like, and it's like, I feel it for you. You know what I mean? Like, it's just so, it's just gratifying. It's gratifying. And I'm so grateful for you to tell your story. And, I'll definitely get some people to get some empanadas from you. I definitely want some. Guys, I'll be tagging, Lula's page. I'll tag everything, and I'll let you guys know the launch. Thank you so much, Yaslyn, for coming to the show.
Thank you.
And I'm so appreciative of you. And thank you so much for your story. Guys, we are accepting clients when you are ready. planted-seedgroup.com. That's our website. And our IG is Planted Seed Group. Thank you again. And thank you for watching What's Your Story Wednesdays. Have a great day.